Anyone can write books. Get motivated, get inspired, conquer your limitations, and write some books. Written and narrated by Dominic Cruz. Summary. It's no secret. We all have books we want to write. But what's holding us back? Why do we fear, procrastinate, or feel unworthy? There are many factors that stop us from expressing ourselves through writing, as well as solutions that can help us succeed. With my 4 keys to book writing success, you will find it easy and fast to start and finish your first books as soon as possible. Above that, you will develop a writing obsession that will keep you in the rhythm of creating even more books. Introduction. Writing books can hold the difference between being a nobody or everyone knowing your name. It can be the borderline of working a minimum wage job for the rest of your life or reaching self-made financial success. It can be a decision between remaining an average person or helping millions of people through your stories, knowledge, and inspiration. It can be a matter of you being forgotten or leaving behind a legacy. So why procrastinate? Start writing your books now. In this publication, I will take you through my 4 keys to book writing success, shower you with nuanced wisdom, and provide you with new reasons as to why you should write books. If you like this book and want updates on my free ebooks, courses, and audibles, sign up to my email listing at dominiccruz.com. To contact me, my email is support@dominiccruz.com. Add me on social media. You can find me at twitter.com/dom7cruz, facebook.com/dom7cruz, instagram.com/dom7cruz. My Snapchat name is dom7cruz, and search for my YouTube channel, dom7cruz. Chapter 1. The Perks of Writing Books. In this day and age, it's almost a requirement to have published books under your belt if you want an edge in life. Having your own written publications provide opportunities to increase the growth of your social, business, and financial standings. Not to mention, writing books can also enhance your mental skills and emotional ability. Plus, it makes you more artistic and creative. Let me explain. Social perks. If you write a book, no matter the type, you automatically obtain author status and will be seen as someone bright, diligent, and dedicated. You also raise the bar within your circle of friends and family to receive more appreciation, value, and respect. And more so, readers who fall in love with your books will view you as someone of high status and will go goo-goo over you as if meeting a celebrity. Business perks. You can create authority and credibility for your businesses, which is something every entrepreneur needs. By writing books based on your products, you can build trust between you and those potential customers who read them. When people read your work, they'll see the knowledge, passion, and belief you have behind your business, service, and goods you offer. These readers will then consider buying from you and possibly become long-term clients. Financial perks. With book marketing, you can get your name and written publications out to thousands or even millions of people. And the more people that come across your books and gain interest in your written subjects, the more sales you'll make. Plus, if you promote other products and services through your books, like I mentioned in business perks, you can make additional sales and more profits. And if you can get a book written, published, and marketed, you can bring the idea of passive income to life. Then you'll literally be making money as you sleep. Mental perks. Writing books is an excellent way to expand your creativity and increase mental sharpness. Let's face it, watching movies and texting all day doesn't activate much of our mind's potential. But once you start, you'll see the writing process will make you think on deep levels. You'll open your mind to new ideas and find solutions to difficult problems. Emotional perks. If you find yourself angry, depressed, or lost, writing can help. When you're raging with anger and have a good burning speech to deliver on something or someone, you can release that stress by writing it out. When you're depressed and need to talk about a sensitive subject, expressing yourself through a piece of writing can get that negativity out off your chest. If you're feeling confused about something in life, write about it. Eventually, you'll start putting the pieces together to figure it out. And if anything, people who read your books will start giving you answers and opinions based on your presented subject. In other words, anytime you feel a deep sense of emotion, write about it. And whatever you conjure up can possibly lead to a really good book. Keep in mind, people read books to feel. So when you feel something, write about it. You'll be surprised what emotions can do to the creative mind. Chapter 2. I see one problem. When it comes to writing my own books, these are 5 things I'm extremely passionate about. Number 1, finishing, publishing, and marketing my books. Number 2, holding my printed books in hand. Number 3, watching my bank account grow. Number 4, getting thank you letters and hearing success stories from my readers. Number 5, sharing my books with family and friends. These 5 passions of mine are great and all, but I see one problem. There are tons of people who desire the same 5 things. The difference is, they have countless excuses on why they haven't written, published, or sold any books yet. I feel for these people. I was just like them, filled with numerous reasons why I thought I couldn't be an author. I felt my spelling and grammar was total crap, that my book ideas were too weird, and that my readers would be disappointed and leave bad reviews. And even when I'd muster up the courage to start writing books, I still failed to complete anything I started. The worst part was going through the shame of promising friends and family all these awesome books, yet never pulling through with completing a single one. Then one day, I had an epiphany of 4 keys that would help me write and finish my books. And guess what? It worked. I call these 4 principles 4 keys to book writing success. Chapter 3, 4 keys to book writing success. Key number 1, build motivation. Key number 2, build inspiration. Key number 3, build mindset. Key number 4, execute. Chapter 4, motivation. What is motivation? Motivation is driven energy. It's a force that keeps you moving forward towards your desires no matter your circumstances or conditions. This driven energy kills procrastination and immediately pushes you to succeed. That is why developing motivation for writing books is most important. You probably know this, but writing books can be very discouraging, and intimidation can prevent you from starting or finishing your written works. But by adding motivation to the mix, you can shoot past your emotional limitations and complete your books through driven energy. So now your job is to learn how to develop motivation for writing. But in order to do that, you need to know how it works. How does motivation work? Fear is what creates the drive behind motivation. If you don't have a fearful reason for why you want to write books, I almost guarantee you will procrastinate and never get one done. So how does fear push you to succeed in this particular case? Look at this example. Say you're feeling way too tired to walk up a hill, and believe you literally cannot do it at this point. Then suddenly, a huge creature pops out of the bushes and starts running your way. I don't care how tired you are, or what you believe you can't do. You're going to get up and start running. The beautiful thing about motivation is, it leaves you no choice but to succeed or you will pay the consequences. So even if you're feeling too tired, angry, depressed, scared, or overwhelmed, motivation will drive you past your limitations and make sure you succeed. There's nothing a little motivation can't get you to do. So the plan here is to set fearful consequences upon yourself that will force you to write and finish your books. For example, tell yourself something like, if I don't finish writing my book, I'm going to end up a broke, forgotten nobody. This will force you into survival mode and make you do whatever it takes to achieve your goals as an author. But let me explain this concept further. Develop book writing motivation. To create motivation for writing books, you need to find good fearful reasons that will keep you from things like complaining, procrastinating, and believing you can't write well. The first thing to do is make a list of things you fear most. This is what I came up with for myself. My list of fears. These are things I'm scared of, starting from most to least fearful. Number 1, no longer existing. Number 2, death. Number 3, giving up. Number 4, not accomplishing my dreams. Number 5, being forgotten. Number 6, regretting things I never did or tried. Number 7, letting negative emotions consume me. Number 8, letting myself, the world, and my family down. Number 9, being broke and homeless. Number 10, working a minimum wage job. The next step is to place your list of fears within the context of writing books to create your list of book writing fears. Here is my personal example of this. My list of book writing fears. I need to write and finish my desired books, or number 1, I will die and be erased from all existence. This is harsh but necessary. Number 2, I will be that loser that gave up on himself and on his dreams of being an author. Number 3, I will be forever forgotten with no value or legacy left behind. Number 4, I will always have that regret and thought of, what if I would have wrote those books? Number 5, I will be consumed by negative emotion and remain a failure. Number 6, I will have let the world, my family, and myself down, and I'd fall into a depression. Number 7, I might end up broke, homeless, or working a minimum wage job for the rest of my life. Now, these are all my personal writing fears that motivate me to work hard on my books daily. But the funny thing is, none of these consequences are really true. I mean, if I don't write and finish books I desire, it doesn't mean I'm going to die, be forgotten, or end up broke. But the concept here is for me to convince myself that these fears are true. That way I can trick my mind and get this motivating energy flowing. So all you have to do is make yourself believe in your list of writing fears and get yourself motivated. Then you'll be driven to reach book writing success. Enhance your book writing quality. Yes, motivation can lead you to book writing success, but there are some downsides. Motivation also comes with tons of stress and unstable focus that can take quality away from your books. Have you ever been driven to do something out of urgency? For example, completing a huge assignment in a short amount of time. How did that go? What did you experience? You were probably rushed, nervous, making mistakes, and could barely focus. And when you work under this kind of pressure, the results usually come out sloppy. It's like fast food, rush cooking to please customers, versus a homemade meal, cooking made with tender loving care. Which food would come out tasting better? So when it comes to creating books, you don't only want to write out of motivation, which will cause you to rush and slap anything together because you want to finish quickly. What you need is a positive balance of speed and focus, fear and passion, and motivation and inspiration when writing books. Chapter 5, Inspiration. What is inspiration? Inspiration is passion, fun, desire, love, and attraction. It is the key to feeling positive and reaching success with ease. Inspiration can make things like work seem amazing and fun. Yes, writing books out of motivation alone can be an emotional and physical struggle as you fight to reach success in order to avoid consequences. But who said you have to let all that stress beat you down? If you combine inspiration with motivation, you'll keep that high-level fear of needing to succeed, yet feel the joy behind the activities you're doing. In other words, you'll actually be having fun while fighting to avoid negative consequences of failure. This is the perfect balance to assure a well-finished book. I kind of see it like those movies when funny drunk people are running away from something like monsters or cops. But they're having a blast, laughing and cheering as if it's some sort of game to them, even though they know the harsh consequences of being caught. This is the exact emotional energy you want for writing books. You want to be extremely scared of the consequences of not writing your books, to make sure you don't procrastinate and will finish as fast as possible, yet having desired fun while in the creative process, to make sure you can focus at your highest levels to write with quality. Develop book writing inspiration. To develop book writing inspiration, start by making a list of things that you desire and that excite you. This is what I came up with for myself. My list of desires. These are things I desire from most to least desirable. Number 1, a legacy. Number 2, helping people. Number 3, making people happy. Number 4, having great social connection and relationships. Number 5, partying and having good times. Number 6, being popular. Number 7, traveling. Number 8, having money. Now once you have your list of desires written, the next thing to do is to put it into book writing context to create your list of book writing desires. This is my example. My list of book writing desires. If I write and finish my books, number 1, I will create a legacy that will last forever. Number 2, I will help people through my knowledge, ideas, motivation, and inspiration. Number 3, I will make people happy as they enjoy my books and learn from what I've written. Number 4, I will develop great social connection, trust, and friendships. Number 5, I will end up throwing and getting invited to parties as my popularity rises as an author. Number 6, more of society will begin to know who I am. Number 7, I will have the time and money to travel by developing passive income from my books. Number 8, I will make money off passive income and through other content I'll be promoting through my books. This is it. You have created lists that will both motivate and inspire you. I recommend printing these lists out and taping them down near your book writing workspace. Each day before you start writing, read and affirm to yourself everything on your list to get your mind, body, and emotions stimulated with energy. One last question, can you write books with inspiration alone? Yes, you can write books with just inspiration, but there's also a downside to that. Inspiration will not give you the speed through urgency that motivation will provide you with. Therefore, with inspiration alone, you will probably be having so much fun writing your books that you'll take your time and never finish. My personal experience of writing books with only inspiration was that I ended up writing forever and expanded off topic. This caused me to get on an infinite loop of never finishing. Plus, when my inspiration would turn to other things besides writing, I would become distracted and lose interest in my written works. That's when I needed motivation to drive me back in line with my mission of writing and finishing my books. So with the perfect combination of both motivation and inspiration, you'll be on your way to reaching your goals of finishing books. Chapter 6, Mindset. If you've ever tried writing books before, then you know you'll be attacked by discouraging thoughts and screwy situations that can ruin your writing flow and cause you to quit. This is where having a good mindset helps. When it comes to writing books, having a good mindset will keep you from being knocked down by things like negative criticism, writer's block, and self-judgment. A good mindset will take you past your writing limitations and carry you to the path of completion. In the rest of this publication, I'll be helping you change your perspective on writing books so you can pull yourself together when things get tough. But before I start, I want to show you how my fear of writing books started and how I conquered it. How my fear of writing developed. I remember sitting in class one day as a kindergartner, feeling inspired to write my first book during free time. My story idea was based on a cat and dog who could not stand each other, but that lived together in the same household. Within 15 minutes, I had finished my first 6-page paper-stapled book with illustrated drawings and all, which probably had about 20 to 30 words in total, and mostly pictures. And before free time was over, I quickly asked my teacher if I could share this book with the students. She granted me 1 minute, but the reactions I got were nowhere near what I had in mind. I got comments like, "Your book was kind of weird, the drawings were weird, and it was too short and boring." What a punch to the face this felt like. Just as any normal kid would have done, I took this criticism to heart. Except I did not show my emotions. I hid my pain behind my great big smile and went straight back to my seat feeling embarrassed, ashamed, and broken. And what really topped it off was my teacher telling me that my spelling in the book was horrible and that I needed to pay more attention in class. My desire to become an author was shattered that day. I felt as if I would never be worthy of writing another book in my life. And for some reason, that ridiculous fear stayed with me for a long time. Writing books was not in my focus after elementary school. From middle school and up, all I cared about was hanging out with friends, talking to girls, and going to parties. It wasn't until after high school that I came back to my passion of writing books. But that's when I learned I had an old fear following me. As I attempted to create written works based off cool ideas I had in mind, I constantly erased, rewrote, and never allowed myself to finish anything I started. That's when I realized there was still fear embedded deep within my subconscious mind. And as my story continues, I eventually come up with 4 keys to book writing success and reach the victory I had been craving for. Chapter 7. Defeat the fear of writing bad books. Nobody wants to write garbage. In fact, most of us want to create perfect books or nothing at all. But understand that your first few books will not be flawless and don't need to be. Give yourself time and experience to get good, whatever good means to you. Don't expect your first books to be masterpieces. It's sad to think that thousands of people with amazing stories and knowledge will never write or publish even one book in their lives because they think they'll produce trash. The truth is, nobody nor any book is perfect. And thinking your book will suck, so stop thinking that writing a crappy book is a bad thing. You need to start somewhere if you want to make progress towards writing better ones. The way I see it is, for every book I write that comes out bad or gets negative reviews, they are only practice books that will help me learn and improve to make better ones. In other words, no matter if your books come out good or bad, they are all worth writing and will help you reach new levels of progress and betterment. Chapter 8. How Authors Think. Even the best writers in the world go through self-judgment, thinking their books will suck. The only thing these successful authors do differently from people who give up are: Number 1, accept the fact that maybe their books will be terrible, but not caring, then proceeding to finish. Number 2, understanding that having a book to show for, even if it's garbage, is better than not having one at all. Number 3, realize that their bad books will eventually lead to better ones, because they will learn from their mistakes. Number 4, finishing their books no matter what they themselves or what other people think. These are some perspectives that successful writers have in mind. You too can be on your way to creating books without that extra stress which can take you out of the game. Chapter 9. Accept your flaws. The minute you can accept that nothing is perfect, not you, not any author, nor any book ever written, your mind will then free itself from those self-conscious thoughts of perfection. In fact, the idea of perfection is only an opinion. Like I've mentioned before, you don't need to be perfect to write books. Sometimes it's best just to take ownership of all your writing flaws and appreciate them as part of your personal artistic style. So whatever you consider to be your book writing flaws, like having bad grammar, bad writing structure, crappy ideas, or bad spelling, just accept those flaws as your own artistic expression. Yes, you can even keep bad grammar and spelling errors in your books, as long as people can make out what you're trying to express. But if you choose to, you can always hire a book editor to proofread and correct all your typos. Almost everyone likes books that sound genuine anyways. And genuinism comes with a mixture of naturalness, like mistakes, typos, and random book and writing structures. So try not to change your natural style of self-expressed writing too much, especially if it sounds like you're having a normal conversation with a friend. Understand that natural flaws are what make books perfect. It shows your true colors, personality, and characteristics. That's what makes awesome publications. Chapter 10. Something is better than nothing. Would you try to write books even if they might end up sucking or hated by thousands of people? Or would you rather write nothing at all and go through life unnoticed and forgotten? I'm sure you have big dreams to write and publish many books. And if you let these dreams pass you by because you were too scared of failing or facing negative consequences, then you definitely have regret in the future. In the end, having any outcome for your written books, good or bad, is always better than not having any outcome at all. Another thing is, even if you're something of an unusual or bad writer, you will still be considered an author. And having author status will always place you above average and over your old self, the you that was too scared to write books. Chapter 11. Practice makes better. Remember this, the more books you write, the more experience you gain. And with more writing experience, the better your next books will be. Practice makes better. This is the way you should see the idea of writing. So if you start off writing a bunch of crappy books, don't give up. Eventually you'll start to smooth out and write good or even great books. This point of view also makes it easier to accept your written mistakes and learn from them to create a better book next time. Also, when writing books in a manner as if for practice, it naturally helps you create written publications without the pressure of needing to be perfect. This will allow you to write plenty books while actually having worry-free fun and producing awesome, genuine content along the way. Chapter 12. Defeat criticism. You are the ultimate judge of the books you write. So never feel like you've written trash if you've given it your all and wrote with passion. I don't care if 100% of your readers don't like your books. You stand tall and be proud that you gave everything you had and tried your best. Ignore those who try to purposely bring you down through their own negative opinions. These are people who are usually jealous of you and of your written works. Keep progressing with writing more books and only focus on appreciating constructive criticism. Constructive criticism will take you to new levels of learning and book writing success. Constructive criticism are the mistakes pointed out by people who are trying to help you grow as an author. These are people who usually like you, your stories, your messages, or ideas. By taking your readers' advice on how to improve your writing, not only will you become a better writer, but you will also build a stronger relationship between you and your engaged audience. Chapter 13. Don't expect to please everyone. The fear of not pleasing readers is what keeps most people from writing books. And trying to make all readers like your books is truly impossible. Everyone has different preferences and opinions. Not everyone will like and appreciate the same things you do. Writing to please everyone is an expectation that will only distract you from writing books in a genuine way. It creates stressful pressure that turns you against writing what you really want to express. This high expectation blocks your true self from being natural and makes you sound fake. This high expectation blocks your true self from being natural and makes you sound fake, robotic, staged, and scripted. which is a big turnoff to your readers. So stop trying to impress and please others. Express the real you, and write books the way you really want to. Write as if you're writing to yourself. Write in a way that pleases and interests you without worrying about anyone else. Just remember, there will be people out there who will not only love your books, but will become super fans of your written works. Those are the people worth writing for besides yourself. Chapter 14. Get your message or story across. No matter if you're writing novels or nonfiction books, or how many mistakes and flaws you make, as long as you can get your points, messages, stories, and ideas across to your readers with minimal confusion, you'll definitely have publications worth reading. You want to be able to paint good, understandable pictures in the minds of your readers as you describe what you're talking about in your books. Other than that, you really don't need to worry about anything else like all those mistakes you want to clear up so badly. Now, a great way to check if your books have good understandable messages, stories, points, or ideas is to have people you know or trust read your books and give you feedback. Only ask your readers if they understand your book. Don't ask them if they thought your book was good, because you don't need opinions if you wrote with passion. What you need are facts that will tell you if your books were understandable or not. And if you're getting negative feedback, like people not understanding your book or people feeling confused on certain parts, then ask them how it was unclear. Use the information they give you and make the necessary changes. It's that simple. Don't get discouraged. See this feedback as constructive criticism that will help you make improvements and grow as an author. Chapter 15. Fear of bad writing skills. Spelling, vocabulary, and grammar. Why does everyone care so much about these things? Well, no person wants to be judged and labeled as someone stupid or unprofessional because of typos. And most of us want to be seen as these perfect, flawless people who don't fart or make mistakes. As I mentioned before, our goals of trying to be perfect actually make us look fake when writing books. It puts stressful pressure and expectations on us that hurt our writing abilities and ruin our genuine style of self-expression. And like I've mentioned before, you can just hire a book editor to proofread and correct all your mistakes if you want to be as professional as possible. Plus, you can always look through the thesaurus and add better vocabulary to your written works. And it's common sense to turn on your spelling and grammar checker on your word processor when writing books. Will low-level vocabulary affect your books? Let me put it this way. A person with elementary-level vocabulary can write best-selling books. It's not about how smart you can be and sound. It's all about the content quality, on how genuine, interesting, emotional, and/or helpful your books can be to your readers. You don't need fancy vocabulary words to succeed in this book writing game. Besides, many readers prefer you to stick to simple common words so they don't have to stop and look up words in the dictionary, which wastes time and distracts away from reading your books. It makes the reading and absorbing process go faster. Will spelling and grammar affect your books? I've already said that you can write whatever you want. It's your book, your style, and your art expression. You're writing books to please yourself, not anyone else. So will spelling and grammar affect your books? Well, the real question should be, will spelling and grammar affect you? Will it bother you that you've written and published books with tons of typos? Will it upset you that people are commenting that you have tons of written mistakes in your publications? And ultimately, should any of that matter? Look, the only place I can think of where you actually need to have perfect spelling and grammar is writing important books that deal with government laws, technical how-to guides, instruction manuals, and educational textbooks. But even then, if it were up to me, I would write those books in style, with slang words, sounding like a real person rather than a damn robot. That way, people can actually be engaged and enjoy reading these important publications instead of falling asleep. Now, you can even change the rules of spelling and grammar if you wanted to. I don't see the wrong in writing books, even if they're important ones, as if you're text messaging a friend. The current way we text each other purposely breaks tons of writing rules so we can write faster and express our carelessness against proper grammar. It's a style of slang that we all understand and are comfortable with using. Again, I believe as long as you can get your messages, stories, and points across to your readers, then you can write a successful book without worrying about spelling and grammar. So if you feel like writing books with slang words, curse words, weird spelling and grammar, pictures, and emojis, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just have fun and express yourself. I actually think it would be awesome if people were to start writing books with emojis and adding more pictures, since we all know images can be worth 1,000 words. Now don't get me wrong, it's still a perk to write and learn proper spelling, vocabulary, and grammar. It gives you a more dynamic way to express and describe things better. But remember this, you don't need that much knowledge and skills to write books. The idea is to start with what you have, your current spelling, vocabulary, and grammar skills. Then you can learn better skills and create better books as you progress. Chapter 16. What about book length? The size of any book does not matter. It's all about the value and quality of what's written. So don't worry about writing a book that seems too short or too long. Just make sure whatever you've written is good. For example, this book you're reading is only a few pages long, but I'm convinced it's worth publishing and selling. I'm so sure of this written publication having great value that I'm even putting it out on paperback print, even though I know it'll be a really thin book. But out of everything you've just read in this publication, the most important thing to do is start writing your books now. Chapter 17. Execute. The most important principle of the 4 keys to book writing success is execute. You need to actually start writing books because that's how you get results. With the help of motivation, inspiration, and a good author's mindset, writing books will actually be hard to avoid as it becomes an obsession. And I wouldn't be surprised if you can push out 10 books or more in 1 year by following these 4 keys. So remember to always motivate, inspire, change your mindset, and execute when it comes time to writing books to get the best results you can potentially receive in your current position. End of book. Thanks for reading. This has been Anyone Can Write Books. Get motivated, get inspired, conquer your limitations, and write some books. Written and narrated by Dominic Cruz. Copyright and production copyright year 2016 by Dominic Cruz.